What's going on, everybody? Welcome to T-Box Talk, episode 27. My name is Andrew, and as always, actually for the first time in a couple weeks, joined with the full crew again, Josh and Will. How we doing, boys?
Good. Solid. Very, very solid. Yeah.
Today's episode, we're going to do a little weekend roundup. Talk about Will's trip to Mexico. Got a couple golf things I want to cover. We'll do a What Are We Watching, some T-Box snacks, and some Larry David complaints from the tee. Will, sister wedding in Mexico, looked phenomenal. If you ever get a chance, go on Will's private Instagram or TikTok. He posted an awesome little reel that I can put over right now.
Yeah, Mexico is a blast. Kind of went down there with an open mind. I'd never been to Mexico before. And I think there's kind of a very stark dynamic between like Mexico City, like what really like Mexico is, and then like, kind of the more tropical areas, which is like Tulum and Cancun and Playa del Carmen and areas like that. So it was a lot of fun. Traveling sucked, but I mean, I don't think anyone really likes traveling for more than like 4 or 5 hours at a time. So
how long was it?
It was 12 or 13 hours to get down there, and then it was about 17 hours to get home. But that included everything, like to and from airport, layovers, et cetera. So that sucked, but all in all, it was a great trip. I know I've already told you guys about some of the things we've done down there. It was a beachfront wedding, traditional Mayan wedding. So that was a new experience for me for sure. Awesome. Was not expecting that.
That was wild.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys listening, we can put some, I've got clips on clips, but we could definitely put some clips up. It definitely took, I think, everyone that wasn't living down there or doesn't follow like a traditional Mayan lifestyle, definitely took us for a spin, because it's the last thing you're expecting, coming from the United States and just going to these traditional weddings over and over again. So that was really fun. I don't want to speak on it too long, but I will say the best part of the trip was probably the Airbnb experience that we did, which I don't have Airbnb, so I don't know that this is a thing, but you can go on Airbnb and like book an experience just like you can book a house. So we booked a cenote experience called Cenotic. And we went, it was 4 hours, and they basically take you from cenote to cenote, but you
Can you explain what a cenote is real quick?
So I don't know the exact definition of a cenote, but it's basically like an underground cavern of water. Okay. And they can be more or less like kind of like a natural pool, or it can be like a cave. So like we had 2 cave ones, and then we went to like a more touristy pool one. But the water is like all beautiful. It's untouched. It's a little chilly by, definition of the people that live down there. But to us, it's like warm water. It's like almost like bath water, in my opinion. So, and it's all like, you can't wear sunscreen. You can't wear bug spray. Like, it's very against like the Mayan culture to do that, because it fucks with the ecosystem, because a lot of the cenotes are connected. So if you do snorkeling down there, you can like snorkel from cenote to
cenote. Did you see anything crazy?
No. I mean, like the first cenote we went in was like purely underground. So like you see a huge opening, and then like everything is under these caves, and there's like air pockets and tropical fish down there with you. So the first one was probably the best one in my opinion. The second one we went to was more of a pool. It was like a touristy kind of one where like you jump off these docks. And like there was a lot of other groups there with us at that one. And then the final one we went to was actually inside a bat cave. Wow. Not Batman's cave, but a bat cave. So like you can't use camera flash in there. You can't talk above a certain decibel, otherwise you'll get attacked by bats. So
wait, so did you have to swim underneath that into that opening? And go underwater for a minute? Not for
the bat one. The bat one is
the first one?
The first one, yeah. Like if you want to see a lot of that cenote, you have to like swim underwater and then go up into these air pockets.
Stop it. Are you serious?
So yeah, it's really cool.
What happens if the water level rises?
So it depends. So like if the water level's high, like you can basically just go above the water wherever you have access to that. But if the water level's low, you have the opportunity to go underwater and find these air pockets and visit these different areas inside that cenote.
Did you have any scuba gear on?
We didn't have scuba gear. We just had goggles. So
you didn't have a breathing apparatus?
No breathing apparatus.
I'm so confused right now. That sounds so dangerous.
I don't feel like are you underwater for that long to get?
Not really. No, like 5-10 seconds max. Like
I swam down.
I swam down really deep in one until I couldn't breathe anymore. And then I swam back out because I wanted to go down super deep. And I wish it was like the one time that our guides didn't take their GoPros out, because again, like I felt like the first one was like the coolest one. But yeah, I mean they're all different. And like I said, you can like if you have snorkel gear, you can snorkel between them. And there's a lot of these ropes that connect them, so you just follow the ropes and pull yourself, but in these caverns under the water. Yeah,
ballsy.
So that was my question, because I was about to say, like, I would panic so fast if I went under to try to find an air pocket and then like I couldn't find it.
Yes.
I'd freak out.
Yeah, so that's why you have the guides, to tell you like water's high, water's low.
By the way, just so you know, that new movie that came out actually with Aragorn from Lord of the Rings, it was the one where the children get stuck in the cave.
Oh, yeah.
This is basically how they get stuck in there. Is they go super deep into this cave in the middle of, I think, Thailand. It's Thailand. And
no, I thought it was the Chile.
I don't know where it is. I know. It's somewhere out there. But the point is they get stuck in the cave because they go in and then a monsoon comes in.
And the water level?
Yeah, the water level rises and it blocks them off. Granted, like I know Will wasn't going in like miles into a cave.
No, like 15, 20 feet max.
Right,
yeah.
So it's different. But it is kind of still the same, like you're underwater in a cave and you need to actually go to the drops or like the air pocket point, and that's just stressful to me. I don't know. Although I feel like if I was there, maybe it wouldn't be so stressful,
I think like upon getting in that first one where like everything, like it looks like nothing and then you get in the water and then everything is down below. It was a little overwhelming at first because it's just darkness underneath you and it just rocks and darkness and like you can't see the actual bottom. But like you get more comfortable, and like I was the first one to go in the first cenote. No one else wanted to go in, but I broke the bread and everyone else went in after me. So once everyone's in, like you feel a lot safer. But again, like these are like closed off areas. They're heavily monitored by the people that like the guides that take you there and the government in general, because again it comes down to like culture, like these areas that are very well protected. Yeah.
So like, but what about like dangerous animals like alligators or piranhas?
No alligators, no piranhas, no. Granted, I don't think they would take us in these waters if there was like fucking megalodon living under one of the rocks down there or something,
Fuji's like, oh yeah, were there any predators that would eat you alive in the cenote?
I mean, it's a solid. I certainly had the same thought going into it, but then I'm like, and my sister and Amari had already done this experience before.
Realistically, because when I went to Mexico one time, and I actually didn't do the snorkel experience because my legs. We had done some different tourist bullshit, and I was super young and I wasn't used to the heat, believe it or not, because it was during the middle of winter, and my legs had been chafed so bad that when I went in the seawater, my fucking legs were on fire. So so I couldn't do it. I could not go in the seawater, so I had to stay back and lay on the beach for like an hour and a half straight while everybody else went to the snorkel. But they said that they saw a barracuda down there. Yeah,
I mean, we were in our villa was on Solomon Bay, and it's great because Solomon Bay, like you can walk out like a mile and it's like doesn't get deeper than your neck, but then you get the breakwater and
it's
deeper.
Crazy.
But the water was almost too hot there. Like the ocean water was almost too hot.
Really?
Yeah, like it was like fucking 99 degrees, I want to say.
Really?
Yeah, like it was like if it's hot out and you're in the ocean, like it's really not that refreshing. So the cenotes were a good break from that because the water was like more 75, 80 degrees.
That's the thing about
it's
Mexico.
So hot.
It is. There are pockets of Mexico that are just fucking so hot. Like take the hottest place in America and multiply it by 2. I mean, granted, there's the desert in certain places, but that's not desert weather. Mexico is.
I feel like it's very humid.
That's the thing.
The thing was the humidity was fine down there.
Really?
Yeah. I expected it to be much worse.
Wow.
I spent that time in Peru and the humidity was god awful.
Yeah.
So
maybe it's a time of year. I don't know.
Yeah, October is kind of like the late. Like I don't think I'd go down there in like June or July or August or anything like that. It would be way too hot.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, overall great trip. I mean,
well, that's great. Hey, your dad actually reached out to me and sent me your reel on Instagram.
Yeah, he sent it to me too. I was like, Dad, I posted it.
I'm the one that posted it, Dad.
No, he's a big supporter of like anything obviously we do and I do. So he sends it out to everyone because he's a big Instagram guy. He loves Instagram. So
he probably just like sends to all friends.
He just pops it in he just clicks all the bubbles. Yeah.
I thought it was so funny. I responded back and whatnot, but I wish him congratulations as well for his daughter being married. I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean,
it was for like having a family that speaks completely English and then a family that speaks completely Spanish, like everyone meshed so well.
That's awesome.
That's
And
cool.
I made a lot of friends down there that are obviously of Spanish speaking, and like they can't wait for us to come back down and go to like Mexico City where they're all from. So
I'm starting to get closer and closer to wanting to really speak Spanish fluently.
yeah, Spanish and like I think Mandarin are like the two like top like if you were to learn another language and actually have it be helpful. It's like Spanish and Mandarin or something like that.
I'll tell you, dude, Spanish is the language. I would say I mean, Mandarin's good if you do business in China, because if you can speak China, like any sort of Asian language and pick up things. Although the problem is with a lot of those countries is like there are a lot of countries in general with a lot of languages, there are
Languages to the
yes, there are languages to the languages where it's like if you could speak Mandarin, if you go to some random like that was something that they were saying and they tell me all the time in China is like if they go beyond a certain point of like
the dialect is different.
The dialect is entirely different in every single place that they go.
Yeah.
So it's like that's why it's so crazy. I've been thinking about this more and more recently that it's really insane that the U.S. and sort of the world is so dependent on like Chinese manufacturing, Asian manufacturing, because it's so difficult to communicate with different factories out there and suppliers. And yet somehow it works. Like, and also not to mention like we're shipping it from the goods are being brought in from literally one of the farthest places in the world to us. Like on the other side of the world is where the supplier comes from, not somewhere more local, you know, like it's a crazy thought when you stop and like analyze it. You're like, wow, they do like 80% of the world's manufacturing and, you know, they're literally the furthest place from everywhere.
I think being down there too, like I wished that I had taken more time to learn more Spanish.
Yeah.
I mean, but really like you guys are sharing one commonality and that's two families joined together. So you're going to have a great time no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah. We went to Miami and that's everywhere.
Spanish is probably the dominant.
They
language
actually
down there.
a couple of years ago they tried to pass a bill to make Spanish the main dialect in Miami, which I don't know what that means necessarily. Like, maybe I don't know what that entails. Actually, yes, I think that's what it is.
Maybe like wouldn't require you to have like things predominantly in English. Like let's say a menu, for example, you could make it all in Spanish and then like English would be that subset language.
Or signs, like signs all over.
Yes.
You know, like stop signs and shit.
So
and like
it'd be instead of what it is now, English with Spanish below, Spanish with English
and
below.
of course they were denied because we're still in English, motherfuckers. Like you can't just take over, you know, the one of the largest cities in the world and call it Spanish. Like, I mean, not that I have a problem with it because at the same time, like everyone there does basically speak two languages.
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those things that we did it for 15 fucking years and you can't speak a goddamn lick of Spanish, can you?
I know some, but I only know how to pick up on specific words, but like one word, and it's so fast. And like I'm sure that people who speak Spanish listen to people who speak English and say the same thing. Like you're talking too fast, like I can't get it.
Yeah.
But like to me, Spanish is extremely fast. So while I'm trying to pick up on one word, they're like 3 sentences ahead, and I'm like, fuck. Like I can't catch up.
I wish I said this. I've actually gone on some dates with some girls who speak Spanish, and I asked them like, because I wanted them to just tell me words as we went, like tell me what fucking perfume means, kind of thing. Like, and it was hard. It was so much easier when they were speaking it, and they broke it down for me as they're speaking it, basically, because your brain starts to put together. You know what I mean? Like what each thing is. That's how you learn. So like to think about, like I feel like if I had just all my life spoken for an hour a day to someone who's speaking entirely in Spanish, I would have probably picked up on the language, you know?
Yeah, and like being like just like what I said about Peru, like being down there forces you to pick up the language faster without you knowing it.
Right.
So just like, you know, a lot of people say it's always easier to understand a language than speak it, and that's true. So when you're down there, like you start to piece words together because if you're all sitting down for dinner and they're speaking about something, you know it has to be about dinner.
Right.
So it's a lot easier to when you're immersed in a situation like that and you're forced to kind of understand the language a bit more. Yeah. It's a lot quicker to learn than just like you sitting with Rosetta fucking Stone.
I've heard of people. One of our Spanish teachers in our high school, Mr. Nebraska. He told me that he went to Spain. I think it was Spain, the Spanish
Spain, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Spain and Spanish. He went to Spain for, I think he said it was like 3 months.
Yep.
And that's how long it took him to basically be like 80% fluent. And then he studied it afterwards, and that was it. He could speak the language. Like,
Yeah, one of my best buddies, Ben, he in college, he studied abroad in Chile. And so he was mildly fluent in Spanish before he went down there, but when he came back, his phone was in Spanish. He handed me his phone when he got back. And I was like, how the fuck do I unlock your phone? I don't understand Spanish.
that's pretty wild.
There was one time I accidentally put my phone in Mandarin characters, and it was I think it was actually just like an iPod of mine, and then I had to look up on a separate computer like the menu layout because like I accidentally did it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, uh-oh. And then,
I did that in Mandarin. You
yeah,
did it in
that's
Spanish?
No, I did it in Mandarin.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it was
Why
all
is
the
Mandarin so easy to do that with?
I don't know why I accidentally did it, but I did, and then I was like, uh-oh. And then I had to like pull up another screen and like go like thing to thing to get it back to
That's
English.
so funny. Yeah,
it
you're
was-
lost. Hey, I actually, so unrelated
By the
to
way,
all
the movie is 13 Lives.
13 Lives, yeah. There's
It's on
actually
Amazon Prime. You
There's
can watch
also
it
a
right now.
documentary that was almost it was actually kind of weird. They did a documentary that was identical to the movie. Like they filmed the whole entire actual event, like firsthand like
Well, it was worldwide news at the time.
No, I know, but I'm not talking about news coverage. I'm talking about they brought in cameras to film the entire excursion, including footage from the fucking them going underwater into the caves to pick these kids up. There's so much footage. It's basically the movie. Like, it was weird. They like replicated the actual events with like movie and characters, but it was ultimately the same type of footage.
Maybe people find it more comforting to watch a reenactment instead of the actual footage because people might get too
Could be.
scared of the actual
Could
footage.
be.
I don't know.
Well, they made that dude.
I'd rather watch the documentary, but
Yeah, the documentary was.
what would you say is better, 13 Lives or the documentary?
Well, I think the documentary it's not like bullshit. They film so much of it that it's like the Hollywood version, but like real.
Yeah.
So what the fuck do you need?
What do you need to go
What
watch
do we
the
even
movie
need
for?
that for? Yeah, what's the point in having the Hollywood version?
Yeah.
But
Them to make money probably off these
yeah,
poor kids.
I mean, yeah, unfortunately, might be the case. Although, what's his face? Aragorn doesn't do. What's his name? Why do I keep
Viggo Mortensen.
Viggo Mortensen? Yeah, he doesn't do. He doesn't do shitbox movies. He only does things that he's passionate about. So
Yeah, Viggo Mortensen. Viggo
Um,
Mortensen.
So unrelated.
You played a great round of golf this weekend.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So we went to Kirkbride. We played, and something crazy fucking happened,
Let's hear it. You teased this the other
I
day.
teased it, yeah.
I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
dude. So I definitely like. I feel I definitely have figured out my swing. I feel like this is the peak of my life in my swing.
Yep. Right as we're going into winter.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's good timing.
Also putting dude, I was knocking putts in. I was drilling fairways. I was hitting. I figured so much out. But long story short, I was on a par 3, and we were getting rushed off one of the holes. Like it was that par 5 that like curved. You guys know the one that goes dogleg right, super hard.
Back nine.
Yep,
Yeah.
hardest hole in the course. We played it. It was a nightmare because we got a bunch of balls got lost in the fucking leaves. It's the only thing about fall golf that
That's
sucks.
a tough hole for that, yeah. And that
Yeah.
is the tough part about fall
So
golf.
we get there. Also, the light. There was it was crazy. There was like this beautiful fall haze light that was happening over the whole landscape, but it was so reflective you couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
So like it was a mess. But we had people riding up our asses like really bad, and everybody was getting all flustered and shit. And we get up to the par 3. Everybody's all pissed off, including the people behind us. And we step up to the tee box, and I set up my ball. I swing crisp. I'm talking like the crispiest, crunchiest. I'm like, I think I hit a 9-iron. I was 156 or 7 out, I think, from the pin. And when I tell you, it landed maybe 2 feet in front of the pin, right? And rolled out on a diagonal, I'm talking an inch left of the hole. Everybody on the tee box and the people behind us also watched this happen, and everyone simultaneously erupted because we thought that I hit a hole in one.
Oh no.
Because the ball went in front of like if you think about looking at it straight, there was like a solid moment in time where the ball was rolling straight at the fucking pin, and like because it just missed it at the last second. I'm talking was like maybe like was even with the hole, like even at the end of it was even just to the left, and we thought it went in. I've never in my lifetime felt like that on a golf course ever.
Really?
And everyone around me was like, you can't imagine the type of energy that it brought on. Like
even in the heat of competition, because you guys, I know you were doing
heat of competition.
You were doing a 2v2 scramble.
The people behind us who were hitting balls into us and fucking they actually yelled at us, like screamed across the fucking fairway, like ah! And it was it was a father with his wife and his daughter and son. It was a bizarre world. But out of the
yeah, fuck, don't go golfing with your family. Fuck
them kids.
They
dude.
were
Fuck
riding
them
up our
kids.
asses, dude. I was like, especially you. I love it because they're riding up our asses, and you watch them hit, and like 2 out of the 3 of them are dinking it up the fairway, but they don't give a fuck. So when they like, we're playing a serious round for like $100+, for the bankroll, because Freightus is obviously involved, the freight train, and basically these fucking people are whatever. They start clapping for me when they see my ball almost go in the fucking hole. So no matter how pissed you can be at somebody, when you see a ball almost go in a hole-in-one or a hole-in-one, I can only imagine, it's an energy that like I literally felt my body go numb.
Yeah.
When the ball when I thought it was in for a second, dude, it was like I couldn't, it felt like not real. It couldn't be there.
So did you think it was in the whole time until you went down there, or did you know it didn't go in?
No, there was like I said, there were probably like, if you can imagine, if it rolls out, if it hits like, maybe it was 3 feet before, it hits 3 feet before, it's probably just right of the pin where it lands. Mm-hmm. And then it starts to move forward. There's literally like a 3 to 5 second window where the ball's slowly rolling out from that on a diagonal. And so in that diagonal, because it was so straight, almost at the pin, it fucking, there was like I said, there was like a good 3 to 5 seconds where everyone on the hole, on the tee box and on the other hole thought the ball was going in.
That's awesome.
So it was, but then obviously like we saw it not go in, and it was.
Did you make the birdie putt?
I didn't even need to putt. It was literally,
close,
it was
yeah.
an inch away from the hole. Like
That's incredible.
it was on one hand, like as amazing as it was, especially Freightus actually hit a fucking dime right after, like maybe within 5 feet or 6 feet or 7 feet. And we both drilled the birdie putt, and it didn't even net me any points.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
But
that's crazy.
It pissed me off a little bit because that was like something that I can only explain to you guys that I had. It's almost like there are kind of moments in your lifetime where you like almost have glory. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't want to say it's almost worse than if I had just never hit a good shot kind of thing. But like the feeling that gave me, and then for it to be ripped away, it was
That's
hard.
the sport, though. That's what makes it so great.
I know.
Yeah, that was like in Florida when I don't know if I think I told you guys, like I holed out from like
Yeah,
130. Yeah, I had the same feeling. I watched the ball hit, roll, thought it stopped, turned around, put my club in the bag, boop, dropped in the hole. Didn't even watch it. But luckily my uncle was on the green, and like same feeling. Like
Yeah.
I was just fucking tingly.
Yeah, tingly.
And I literally waited on the next hole because we didn't have anyone behind us to hit for like 5 minutes, because I was like, if I get up on the tee right now, I'm going to spank this thing like
Right.
either 50 yards over the green, or I'm going to top it 3 feet
Yeah.
in front of me.
Dude, it's like an energy that you can't even imagine. Like the equivalent right now in my head was when you chipped in from the sand like 30 yards out,
and
Colucci.
it's the one shot all day we didn't film.
It's always the one shot you
It's
didn't
always,
film.
yeah.
That was
brutal.
a great feeling, though.
Andrew, I've never seen Andrew so fucking happy.
Yeah.
He literally lit the fuck up. You were there, right?
I was
Will?
there. It was
yeah.
with- it was-
me. It was Shanks.
I think it was
Yeah, his
Nikki
first
Shank's
day.
first day, out of Triggs. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Where'd the time go?
That was like back in May. Yeah, May 17th or May
Isn't
27th.
it wild how you guys ever stop and think about how quickly that fucking went?
This summer.
Yeah.
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 It's
Like,
fucking
as crazy as it sounds, like, I mean, granted, I think part of the reason why these summers have been going by, like this summer specifically, it was the first summer out of COVID, right?
Yeah.
And everything was happening all the time. everybody's doing shit this summer. Everybody's going places.
Yeah, I don't think I had a weekend that I stayed in.
No.
I just didn't do anything.
We just, dude.
It almost got frustrating because like you wanted a weekend to stay.
Yeah.
in.
But you knew you couldn't waste it.
No.
You can't waste
Because they're
that.
so short and like August basically doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
August, don't know what the fuck happened in
Yeah,
August.
yeah.
We went
Me
straight
neither.
from July to September, and now it's
100%.
middle of October.
And the worst part is like, damn, I have to say that was like the whole process of like bringing Shanks in and doing the internship, because that was a first for us. And we never really talked about what that felt like, but it was kind of weird, right? Because originally when we started the intern process, we were just going for kind of like unaffiliated people that didn't even play golf, and we were just trying to get anybody we could get. And then, by the way, that was out of nowhere. Even the fact that Shanks found us or was even on that app, because it was not done through LinkedIn or whatever. That was done exclusively through that third-party service that works with schools.
Yeah.
And he was one of only a few that really saw the ad because it was so late that we had posted it and everything. And for him to have come through and then been the person that he was, it was hard, right? Because it was like he was so good at being part of the gang and the group.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he got ripped away in just 3 months.
I know.
That was it.
I know. Just like I was telling you guys, I was supposed to hang out with him Sunday morning and sleep took over, but it's always good to see Shanks, and hopefully I know golf ends for him on the 22nd, so maybe we'll see more of Shanks after the 22nd.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. I miss fucking Shanks.
He's just, dude, there was never a moment where he was upset about something.
There was never a moment when he stopped talking either.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that energy. We rode this summer, man. We did so much shit in so many ways. The content has just, in my opinion, it's what I always dreamed it would be. Like, I'm not kidding you. Like, for like 4 years, I debated. Got to remember, like, when I was thinking about OMADA way back in school, like, when I was literally a sophomore in college, and I started to understand what content really was going to be in regards to business and whatnot. Because I think the boom of YouTube happened like basically our freshman year. I'd say like it was obviously the boom. There was obviously
YouTube's been around for a
right.
while.
It's been around.
Yeah, but it's always fluctuated in terms of like popularity and like people spending time on it.
But
Yeah, it used to just be like stupid videos.
Well, when you think about it, like between Mr. Beast and TikTok and that sort of content style that came out, that's like right at the beginning of college. That was. I don't even think Mr. Beast had 5 million subscribers when we were freshmen in college. I don't even know if he had 1 million subscribers, maybe. But the point is like the boom of content happened with TikTok, which happened in college while we were in college, and also the application explosion, right? There was no Uber before we went to school. Uber did not. I don't think Uber in our city, so in Rhode Island or in your case Connecticut, I don't believe they existed up until maybe when you went to school.
I was taking Ubers in Vermont, but whether it was freshman year, so that was 2013, or I know I was taking them, junior and senior year. But that was more 2016, 2017, which is right around the time you guys were out of college, right?
Freshman year. I know freshman year of college, I probably spent $1,000 on Ubers, probably more.
Right.
Yeah.
So regardless, I think people always ask me like, "What's your content going to be?" You know what I mean? Like, "Oh, you're going to do a golf push. Start with a golf push car. Okay. What kind of content? What do you mean content?" People didn't understand that. I kept saying like the content is going to be us. Like that's what the content is, and people would be perplexed by that. Like, so you know this, right? I mean, we said this early team members of OMADA, like. There were 4 different people that were affiliated with OMADA at one point. Not one of them understood what I meant when I said the content is going to be fucking us. And it has nothing to do with necessarily with golf, but it's just a cool thing to think back. I feel like we really didn't do a recap of the summer. I mean, we did, but like looking back on it now, having some time to process, man, it blew by and
that's it.
It was wild.
Into the darkness of winter we go. But
it was very uplifting.
My weekend, not really that important, but what is important is that Josh fucking whooped my fucking ass in fantasy football. It wasn't even close. And we don't have to go player to player because we keep doing that, and I don't really think anybody cares that much. But, my team shit the bed. I egged, which means we have this special rule in our league, and I've said it before, but if a player on your team scores exactly 0.0 points, you have to egg yourself. Which
You
means,
need to play a clip of that. That
Yeah,
needs to
I'm
be
gonna
put up.
insert my egg video right here. Check out the YouTube at about the 30-minute mark to watch it. But so Saturday, I went out drinking all day, and then Sunday, right before football, it was mandatory that I had to film myself smashing an egg on my head. So I'm all hungover in the morning. I get home from Boston. I grab an egg out of my refrigerator. I go up to the bathroom, turn the shower on, smash an egg over my head after explaining why I got egged. And then I realized I fucked the video up and I didn't record it. So I shamefully had to walk out of my bathroom with an egg just dripping off my head, walk back downstairs, grab another egg, go back up, and record the video over again. And here it is right here.
Coochie just out here wasting eggs.
Yeah.
Egg shortage.
The egg shortage is due to me because I'm terrible at fantasy football. It's Teddy Bridgewater's fault. And then in the matchup with Josh, I got egged again. Marquez Valdes-Scantling with 0 points. And coming up next week, another egg from your boy. But yeah, Josh kicked my ass. And that's about
I mean,
that.
to be fair, I basically was second in the league by 0.0, like, I don't know, fucking know, like basically like a fraction, half of a point or something.
Yeah.
So I put up incredible numbers. That was a weird week in football.
Yeah, a lot of weird games, a lot of slow games, not that much scoring.
Can you believe the fucking? Can you believe the Packers lost? You bet them in the pool, right?
So I had two bonehead moves in the pool. I thought Green Bay and Tampa Bay were gonna get back to their rhythm. Right?
Yep.
Green Bay is playing the Jets. I was like, they're going to fucking smoke them. So I took them -6.5. Tampa Bay is playing the Steelers, who I think might be the worst team in the NFL. -8.5. I took it, right? Both teams lost outright. It's like, what do you even, like, am I just the dumbest idiot ever? Like, but yeah, Rodgers and Brady, and I'm a huge Brady guy. He was my childhood hero, still probably is, but my God. I thought that the divorce stuff was going to be like motivation for fuel.
Yeah.
And it ain't. He's not there at all. And you know what he's getting yelled at for? Did you see that Robert Kraft got married on Friday?
Yeah, of course.
Brady was at the wedding Friday in New York City and then went back down to Pittsburgh to play the game Sunday. So he took Friday off of practice, went to the wedding. I'm assuming he probably didn't party that hard, and then comes to the game on Sunday and puts up a stinker. Like, he couldn't move the ball at all. And he's screaming at his offensive line. So it's like people are starting to like put reports out like, oh, people are mad at him in the team because he went to the Kraft's wedding. But there was a bunch of Patriots players who went too. McCourty went, Slater went, and
Moss went,
and Randy Moss. But like, I'm talking about the active players.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And they still kicked ass on Sunday. Patriots beat the Browns. Bailey Zappi throws for 300 yards, and now we got a quarterback controversy.
Yeah, I mean, did you say that Mac Jones is playing next week?
It's reports right now that's going to be Mac going Monday night, and me and Josh are actually going to the game Monday night, so we'll be able to talk about.
We might
that
see
the next
history in the
morning.
making. It's possible that fucking he starts stinking up the field, and they bring Zappy out, and it's Zappy time, baby. And
Zappy hour.
He basically takes over. That's you said this to me the other day.
Hey,
but
we're going to be part of the crowd, and if Mac Jones starts to play bad Monday night, we're everybody in the crowd.
Zappy.
And then it's going to get me on film just blasting Mac Jones, but I don't know. I feel bad for Mac. I hope he does good.
Yeah. Hey, the New York Giants fucking won.
New York Giants are 5-1 right now.
That's
insane.
Crazy.
Even I know that's pretty wild.
Yeah, because they're supposed to be bad. They're supposed to be.
Hey,
rebuilding.
what about the fucking Jets? The Jets.
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 Nah, fuck the Jets. The Jets are the Patriots' rival. We're gonna kick their ass.
Dude,
in 2 weeks.
they
How are the
fuck-
Jets doing this year?
They're 4-2.
Wow, that's pretty. I know
they
that's
didn't win
surprising
I think
too.
they didn't win a game last year. We went to
They were terrible.
We went
last
to the opener at MetLife last year. Colucci and I with my dad and one of our buddies. Oh, Phil the Thrill. Yeah.
Yeah, because
And-
the Patriots were in town.
Yeah,
They were already
Patriots
New
were in
York.
town, and it was fucking nuts, dude, because the place was erupting for the first 60 seconds of the game, and then it died off, and everybody left because they were getting their asses fucking handed to
Yeah,
them.
it was Zach Wilson's first appearance as a New York Jet after they drafted him 2nd overall, I believe, third overall. and everybody was like so excited for him. And then his first 2 throws at MetLife were both interceptions. He ended up finishing the day with 4 interceptions. It was hilarious.
Marquise Brown got injured this week. That's one of my,
Josh's star receiver down.
That was my star receiver.
He's out.
I will say Lazard, man. Lazard is actually really kind of inching up. He's playing really well.
He caught a bomb touchdown.
Yeah, he did.
Once I saw that, I was like, oh, this matchup's over because my team wasn't performing at all. He picked up like 12 points on that play, so I was like, fuck
him.
This
he was a crazy clutch pick in that draft.
Yeah, but I'm excited for us to go to the game Monday night. So this is going to come out on Thursday. So yeah, in a few days from now, Patriots, Bears, Monday night in Foxborough. Me and Josh will be there. Look for us on the TV.
Look for us on the TV.
I'm super excited. Josh, you haven't been to a game yet. You actually, unfortunately, missed the home opener because you were traveling. So
I did, for good reason.
Why were you? Oh, that was New York. Yeah, that
I
was
went to New York. Went to
the fraternity event. Yeah. So you know
I'm
what?
not a douchebag.
It's football.
Gonna put that out there. Yeah.
Just gonna put that out there. Yeah, it's
allegedly.
Well,
allegedly
not a douchebag. I think that was it was a good reason to miss the Pats game. It's so fucked because like it's really wild how time can just jump things. Like, you know what I mean? Like you really stop to think about like all these crazy events that have happened in history. We just they just get run over by time.
Yeah.
Because like literally we graduated. We didn't graduate. We got kicked out of school. Basically everybody for COVID. And I didn't see these. There's 100 guys I didn't see for 2.5 years. That's nuts.
It is.
Just like that.
All right, let's move into some golf stuff. I got just
You're not going to ask me how my weekend went?
Oh, that's true. You skipped over. You did the weekend roundup in Will's
trip.
I
don't have anything to. I had a very lame weekend, so I just wanted to make you feel bad for a second.
I always forget.
Colucci's face got all red. He started to blush.
Aww.
Will, how was your weekend?
I was on. I really didn't do that much this weekend. It's okay that you would have skipped over me.
Wonderful,
did you have a cat in Mexico, by the way?
Benito. No, he was the cat of the guys who ran the cenote experience.
That's so funny.
So no, not my cat.
It kind of looked like your cat a little bit. No,
he's a nice little boy, but no, it wasn't my cat.
What did you do with your cats?
We just had people check on him every day. They're
They're
fucking cats.
Cats cruise.
Yeah,
that's why cats are fucked. They're kind of cool.
You just throw out food and they're good for like 24 to 48 hours.
What were you about
food
to say?
and water.
They just take care of themselves. They're cool.
You were about to say something before that.
They're not better than dogs.
They're not better than dogs.
No,
watch your mouth.
No.
You watch your fucking mouth.
Cats. Fuck cats.
I mean, hey, don't say fuck cat.
Yeah, you don't have to insult one.
I was a fuck cat guy until I met my girlfriend.
Fuck cat guy.
I actually, she's converted me into a cat person. But the best part about cats is it's like a lot less responsibility. So, So like if you want to get a dog, like you have to just assume that responsibility.
I'm gonna get a lizard because I feel like lizards.
You should get a snake like Nikki Shanks.
No, Nikki Shanks has a snake.
He has 2 pythons in his room.
Stop it!
I think they're his brothers, but they live in the bedroom with him at home.
What the fuck, dude?
No, yeah, they're his
no
brothers'
TV,
snakes.
just pythons.
I actually still think
he might
he's
be a
lying
fucking
about
weirdo,
those.
dude. He might literally
He's a
be
cyborg.
Yeah, he might be a cyborg. Him and Angus, the cyborg twins.
Couple golf things.
The Borg
actually,
twins.
just one big thing. The new Tiger Woods returns to the cover of PGA Golf 2K23. New video game just launched.
Fucking stupid.
Did that come out on Switch too?
I'm not sure if it came out on Switch, but the game's kind of catching a lot of heat because apparently they didn't really change much from.
They never do.
2K20.
No, the graphics look like fucking Hot Shots golf graphics. They didn't look much better than 2K21.
They don't understand that here's the thing that they've missed about these games time and time again. After the first one, after 2K19, where it was like
the golf club.
The golf club, right before it became 2K, actually.
Yeah, because 2K is now back.
Yes,
it used to not be 2K.
When it was unaffiliated and it was just the PGA, video game, they got the mechanics and the metrics down pretty good. Like it was fun, it was different, it was a legitimate game.
You could raise the difficulty, which I enjoyed.
Yes, but the second it went to 2K, the whole entire reason that you want to go to 2K is so that you can play as your favorite characters and it's entirely live. So, like, if Bryson's injured, you can't play Bryson. Or there's, like, it follows what's going on in legitimacy. I don't know if that's the Live fucked that up or...
Well, this new game, they have licensed golfers now, but it's only like 8 guys. And there's some LPGA players as well. But like, I think they should have the full roster, but they won't. Will never pay for that. It's 2K. This is the issue with sports games in the modern era. Is each one of them is just a money grab because they're taking the previous year, they're copying the code, pasting it, adding a couple new features and minor tweaks, and calling it a new game and wanting you to pay $60 for it. And now the new Series X games and PS5 games are $70.
Wild.
It's like,
Is that what they are now?
$69.99.
Just wait until they're $99.99.
Oh, they will be. No, they will be because it's going to cost too much to make them because these gaming studios, they set it's insane what's happening. And if you ever want an interesting topic to dive into, go into the video game making industry and read what happens. Like, there's so many companies that have horrible things coming out about them, about making employees work like 120-hour weeks and like working to the bone, horrible conditions, and then they put out games that are broken. Like, it's wild. But what they should do to fix it with the things like this golf game, don't re-release a new game and and make people pay money for it. Just take the previous game and make a big update to it, like a 30 gigabyte update. And, maybe charge $5-10, like, or something like that, like a year, to fix it. But they'll never do that. They just want their money.
I don't know. I mean, ultimately, the thing for me is if I remember this is nothing new, right? They've done this with Madden for fucking, I don't even know how many years. The least you want out of that is if you're going to pay the extra money, that all the characters and the statistics, because think about this, right? If you go back, remember in some of the NBA games how they would do like 1960 or like 1970
legendary teams.
Legendary teams, how they would have ranked players. Tiger Woods in 2023 is an entirely different skill level and set of skills than Tiger Woods in 2005.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods 2005 is a championship winner, fucking like the greatest golfer of all time. So the goal there for me is that if you don't have that sort of dynamic to the game, and you can't play as I'll give you a perfect example. You know what would really push people to buy that game right now is if you could play as a I don't know what fucking era. I'll say 1997 John Daly, who wins the fucking tournament, has the mullet in his back, and like has a cameo in the game where he's slugging a fucking beer on the golf course. Like,
make it fun.
Make it fun. That to me is like something that is worth the extra spend. It's like buying skins in Fortnite almost, Yeah. Like you could upgrade, you could buy John Daly and then like you like play enough of the game to level the player up until you have more to pick from. You can pick John Daly, but then if you pick John Daly, the upgrade to John Daly is John Daly from 1997.
Yeah, or you could buy the animations or earn the animations.
Yeah, exactly.
Earn the costumes and earn all that.
Yeah.
Diet
Oh,
Cokes.
that's a good one. Yeah. Where if you fucking sink a hole or sink a putt or something on the green, you can sell the dances that they do in Fortnite.
You do an emote.
An emote. Yeah. Like, and John Daly could be fucking like take out a beer, fucking smash it on his head and fucking slug it on the green. Like, that is what you want out of these games that they're just not doing.
We just saved video games.
Literally, at least that one. I mean, if they took that, I'd play that, dude. If I could smash beers on my head as John Daly in any circumstance, I think I'd want to be involved.
Dude, if you just go take a look at what they're doing to Madden right now, it's absolutely unbelievable. It's the same game that they re-release every year, charge $70 for, and fuck you. I don't want it. It gets me so angry because I fall for it every year. I'm the idiot.
I mean, I'm
the reason.
Let me
they
ask
keep
you this
doing
though,
it.
right? Is like what? Because I just gave you something that has nothing to do with the actual function of the game. What is it you think that they can really do differently about
build
these
it on
games?
a whole new engine? This every Madden game for the last 8 years, I would say, has been built on the same engine. They keep saying it's built on a new engine every time, but it's not. It's just built on an upgraded version of the previous engine. And what I mean by that is the engine is what a video game is built on. It's how all the animations function. Because Madden has been on the same engine for the last, 5-6 years, every animation is always the same. Like, nothing's changing. The way the game feels, like the movement of the players, it's the same every year. It doesn't change. They haven't added any the announcers who are like calling the game as you're playing it.
Right.
Same announcers for the last 5 years with the same lines. They're not changing anything. And they're getting away with just putting new players in the game and charging $70 for it.
Right.
And it's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm just fed up with it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm fed up with that. But the golf game, I think if you want to make this PGA golf game fun and get great ratings, I think you have to make it more cartoony and you have to make it more fun. And I don't think it should be a true simulation.
To be more cartoony though.
See, I agree
I
I
agree
think
with the
there's a
second
world
part.
for both games.
Well, I think the second part is accurate. Not making it all about the simulation.
Yeah.
Especially with the fact that simulators exist now.
Yeah.
So, like, if you really want to do a simulation golf game, you just drive down the street to go play X golf or something. But my thing is, like, to your point, I think in every one of those games, it's all about like I said, this is actually, you know what's so funny? This ties into the Live Tour arguments that I was making all throughout the summer. It doesn't fucking matter about the action of each golfer. Like, it's cool when one golfer wins or whatever. It's all about the fucking brand. I don't know why people don't get that at this point. Like, why does somebody buy a Nike shirt over some other brand they've never heard of? Why? Because of the brand power, because they trust in the fucking customer service, because they trust in the product, because they know that Nike won't make a shitty product because they've bought into the Nike fucking brand. So when you talk about these golfers, if you're going to come out with a new golf game, it's not about the golf. Metaverse, it's about the golf because you are the fucking golfer, right? You don't need to play as somebody else because you are in a different universe playing as yourself. That's the sell there. But if you're in a video game and you're just on your remote, it's all about the fucking brand power of like what you're doing. Like, I want to play as John Daly or Tiger Woods. I don't care about anybody else. Or Bryson DeChambeau. At least give me a Bryson DeChambeau that has an accuracy rating of 32% and a power rating of 200%.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let me go try to bang bang fucking greens from 400 yards out.
But that'll never happen. They're going to keep all the live players out of the game, obviously. But
Oh, you really think so?
Yeah, it's a PGA spot. It's a PGA.
Oh, is it a PGA game?
It's a PGA licensed game.
Oh,
It's
fuck.
PGA 2K23. Yeah.
They have
Watch
enough money to
Liv
do
come
their
out
own.
with a game.
I was gonna say they have more than enough money to do that. So
literally.
Don't say never. They might come out with Live Tour, Live.
Live 2024.
Live-
It'd probably be 24.
Well, there's
because-
like all this talk now that like the Live Tour players won't be able to play in the majors, and the head of Live Golf basically just said, "Well, I'll just create my own majors then."
Yeah.
So like they've got plenty of money to do that.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, we live in a weird time in the golf world. But
I mean, that's bullshit.
it's
They
good
should be
drama,
able
though.
to fucking play in the majors. I get not playing on the tour.
I don't think
kinda.
they'll actually go through. I hope they don't go through with that.
It's
But
the USGA that's going to make that decision. Though.
Yeah, right.
I don't think they have the balls to make that decision.
Man,
But we'll
they're going
see.
to get sued. Their fucking asses are going to be. They're going to be in court for the next 5 years 10 years if they don't let those
Yeah.
players play. But anyways,
Anyways, we've been going a little long, so we'll kind of do something like this. So
wait, Coochie. I'm sorry to cut you off. There was something I did want to mention about golf news.
Shoot.
Did you guys see that Bryson DeChambeau is playing in the long drive? I mean, I know maybe from past, but
I think it already happened though.
it did.
Yeah.
So can we look up the results and just see how he performed real quick?
So he came in second place. It looks like.
That's fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah. So it looks like Bryson came in second place at the Long Drive World Championships. That is pretty crazy.
When was that? When
It was a
it?
couple weeks ago. It looks like.
So I know it's a little bit of late news, dude, but that's fucking crazy. Because I was told, I want to say we might have talked about it before, but that entire competition was running out of money, basically. And I think he revived the whole entire...
Yes, because he joined it, it pushed more publicity towards it and more viewerships, and they got better ratings and more money and more sponsors.
The reason that so many people haven't heard of it, in my opinion, is that, not heard of the event, but in general right now, not watched it, is because it wasn't streamed. It's still, I believe, on TV.
Yeah. No, it's on YouTube broadcast.
Which is
a
basically...
YouTube broadcast carried the event.
Right, but a YouTube broadcast as in... You have to buy YouTube TV, right?
No, YouTube broadcast is just regular YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you just got to find the channel that's on.
You're telling me they did that for World Long Drive?
Yeah, Long Drive World Championships. It was just live streamed on YouTube.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they probably had a ton of ads.
Dude, that was on Golf Channel originally. Every year I watched the Long Drive come around.
Yeah, I don't think it is anymore.
What did he hit? What was the number?
It's saying he had ball speeds that got up to 230 miles an hour.
Oh, my God, dude. 230 miles an hour. Holy shit.
DeChambeau went down to his last ball to qualify for the round of 16. Then he finished 5th amongst the final 8 with a top drive of 415 yards. Also, he didn't come in second. This article is very confusing. But anyways, he competed in it, and that's what matters because he's back in it, and he hasn't been doing it for a while.
415-yard drive. Jesus Christ.
Anyways, let's move on to a closing topic. Because we've been going pretty long here, I guess everybody can probably just choose what they want to do. So, like, between What Are We Watching or LD from the Tee, just choose which one you want to go on a couple minutes about, and then we'll get out of here. So, I'm going to get it going because mine kind of combines the both. And I am just so upset with how they did with Halloween Ends, the 3rd installment in the new trilogy. It throws out everything in the Halloween franchise. If you don't know what Halloween is, it's Michael Myers movies. The original Halloween takes place in 1978, I believe, and then there's 4 different storylines that are all different, and then this final and 4th one, they threw out everything. So it's the original Halloween, then they jump to 2018, then the second movie in that trilogy takes place the same night. And then this one that just came out the other day, I was so excited for. I was thrilled for. I ran home from work Friday night. I got my sweats on. I was so excited to watch the movie. Got some food. One of the biggest pieces of garbage I've ever seen in my life. And I know Josh hates when I over-exaggerate negatively about a movie, but you can't tell me that in a movie that's in 1 hour and 50 minutes long and Michael Myers only gets 14 minutes of screen time, you can't tell me that's a good movie.
Well,
if it was a standalone movie, it might have been good. If it wasn't supposed to wrap up the trilogy, it would have been good. But this was supposed to be the conclusion to the trilogy that's been worked on for the last few years. And Michael Myers isn't even the main guy. It's
who's
wild.
the main guy?
It's this new character that they introduced out of thin air. And he's just a kid, and he, spoilers, skip ahead a couple minutes if you still want to watch it, but it's a kid who accidentally killed a little kid when he was younger. It was a total accident. And then he goes away for a little bit, comes back, the movie skips 4 years, and he's kind of like an outcast who gets kind of bullied in the town because everybody's scared of the Michael Myers stuff. So the town kind of ostracizes people who do crimes. And this kid gets bullied, so then for some reason he becomes friends with Michael Myers in the sewer and then starts killing everybody.
That's fucking stupid.
He becomes friends with Michael. Why in the sewer?
That's where
Michael hangs out.
Somehow he was
Sewer boys.
He was just hiding he was somehow just hiding in there.
I actually kind of want to see that. That would be.
I'm not wasting 2 hours on it.
I'm not gonna lie. That doesn't even give away too much of the movie because you kind of see what's happening in the movie, and then eventually Michael starts to do his thing. But give me a Michael Myers versus Laurie Strode. Give me that. I mean, even I can't believe I'm blanking on her name right now. But who plays Laurie Strode?
Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Even Jamie Lee Curtis, who's the main actress, who's always been the main actress in the Halloween movies, barely is in the movie. It's like,
what that could be,
just
right?
Drives me crazy.
That could actually be a budgetary issue.
No, they dumped a fuckload of money into this movie.
Really?
Yes. And they released it in theaters and on streaming at the same day,
Is
which
it
I
scary?
actually love. No, not scary at all, to be honest with you. There's a couple gruesome kills in it.
Is it more or less scary than
You will not
the
be
very
scared.
first one?
The very first one from
Yeah.
the 70s?
Yeah, because that one
No, it's way more scary than that because it's more gruesome. That one's
take
not,
the gruesomeness out of it.
Oh, I don't think it's that scary because that one's ominous.
That one's ominous. As
This
fuck.
one is not.
Which is actually why I was going to say that, because I was going to say you're treading on thin. You're treading on a topic where with Jaws, for instance, you don't see the shark until the last 5-10 minutes of the whole movie. I mean, you see a fin here and there, but the whole idea was to create suspense that eventually leads to the climax of the visual, right?
Yes, I agree with you. But this movie, they build this whole new character up, and then something happens, and then it's a whole different movie for the last 20 minutes. So it's like, what was the point of the first 57 minutes of that movie? Or no, the first hour and a half of that movie, because only really the last 20 minutes Michael comes comes out to play. And like,
Right.
it's just wild. The original Halloween is scary because it, like I said, it's ominous. This is more of a slasher movie. It's
Right.
not that.
Did you see that there's a new Hellraiser coming out?
It's already out.
Oh, it's already out.
Streaming on Hulu. Yeah.
I watched the preview.
It looks too scary. That one's
Too scary
that
for
one's
me.
fucked up for me. Because they do really gruesome kills in that one. There's also a movie called I already forget what it's called, but there's a movie out right now that people are leaving theaters.
Oh, my girlfriend told me about that one.
Yeah,
because it's too scary.
I forget the name too. It's a sequel, right?
yeah, it's too gruesome, is what it is.
Like I heard people were like throwing up.
Yeah,
watching it.
Terrifier 2. There's been like multiple reports of people fainting at the theaters and having to get carried out because it's that gruesome. Yeah, Terrifier 2. That's the guy. He's like a killer clown.
Let me see. Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
I'll probably give it a go, but
yeah, I don't know if that's for me.
I got to be honest. That sounds like a.
yeah. But you watch like the Saw movies as a kid. This is like
Okay, Saw movies are terrifying because
I hate Saw. I fucking hate Saw.
I like
so
Saw.
much.
Yeah,
I like Saw.
I hate it because it's
real.
hits too close to home. Same thing with Michael Myers. That's why I always edge
Well,
closer
see,
to.
I don't think Michael's that scary because he's kind of a supernatural being.
No, see,
Like he's a monster. Like he can't die. He's been shot.
you're right. There's
he's been
truth to
shot
that.
like 100 times.
That's true. Yeah,
He's been shot, burned alive, exploded, everything.
I don't
And
like
he's-
that. I that's what I liked about the first one was I felt like he got shot, but he like had just a little bit more stamina than the average person.
Did you know that he was never supposed to return for the second movie? He was supposed to be dead. The original idea for the Halloween movie franchise was it was going to be like Halloween, and every movie was going to be a different story. It's going to be it's called an anthology.
Oh wow!
Every movie was supposed to be a different story, but because Michael Myers,
like a different being coming to.
or a different, like maybe one movie was like a demonic possession or something.
Oh damn!
But because Michael
Gotta take it
Myers,
there, Colucci.
because Michael Myers was such a popular character when he came out, they were like, okay, we're making every movie about Michael Myers, and they threw the original creator off.
The thing about it's tough, like those movies, the ones that you're referring to there. I think that's a little bit of PR. I think that they say I've heard that from a long time. I've heard that for a lot of different movies, like. Oh, yeah, people are fainting in the fucking movie theater. There's almost nothing you could show me at this point to make me faint. I might get a panic attack. Like
Or
I could
throw up. I could see throwing up.
Dude, I've watched Bone Tomahawk. I've seen a man be split in half with an axe. Like there's not that think about Stranger Things. Like you watch more grotesqueness in Stranger Things than you ever could even imagine if you had looked back 5-10 years ago.
Yeah, like the original Michael Myers movie in the 70s wasn't that scary. I mean, it wasn't that gruesome.
It wasn't that gruesome.
Scary,
it was scary because that was like completely legitimately possible.
Yeah,
like
because he's just a serial killer.
Yeah, he's just a serial killer at that moment, and
that,
obviously
you know what?
those
That's why. Talking horror movies, it's almost Halloween. That's why like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre scares me a lot because like it's just a cannibalistic family. It's not like he's a monster.
But then again, you almost look at him and you're like, if that was real life, there is a slight possibility of defeating him.
Because he's real.
Because he's real. There's one of the old movies of Texas Chainsaw Massacre where he is defeated by a military man who comes in and fights him in the pond and fucking drowns him.
Yeah, that was I think it's like The Next Generation is what that movie is called.
On a lighter note, let me shift off of your scary scaries. I'll go to the later scaries of Hocus Pocus 2. I watched Hocus Pocus 2 with my mother and my brother and my dad and my brother's girlfriend. And unbelievable.
Really? Because
staggeringly fantastic. Like, I couldn't believe, because I hated the first one. I did not like at all. It was so corny. The acting was atrocious, with the exception of the one main actress. And in this one, man, it was so funny, so lighthearted, so much magic. And obviously it takes place in Salem, which has been promoted to the nth degree. Like, there are crowds I think this Halloween there's going to be 50,000 people in Salem.
Probably.
I don't even think you're going to be able to move.
The Hocus Pocus 2 kind of hits home for us too, because a lot of them it was filmed in Lincoln, 5 minutes down the road.
Really?
Yeah, I drove by one of the filming sites on my way home from work every day.
Yeah, one of the
that's fucking awesome.
The director came into Phantom Farms, I think. Phantom Farms or somewhere, I think. I don't know, but it was a good movie. I would probably give it like a solid like 7-9. On another note, obviously I've told you guys about Lord of the Rings being the greatest film that's ever come to be in the known universe. The new season the finale just ended. I'm such a
lost soul, a lost puppy.
yeah. I'm such a Sauron slut, dude.
Now that it's over, I'm finally gonna go and watch it all. Josh has been hounding me.
I'm gonna rewatch it too. It just pisses me off because now I want more.
Yeah,
You know?
you'll get it. It'll come out. They'll probably make 20 seasons and make billions of dollars off of it, and you'll get all the pleasure you want out of it. But that's awesome. Will, LD, or what are we watching? What do you got for us?
I mean, I got both, but
We'll talk about that new show for a minute.
I already gave away my what are we watching?
It's that new show, right?
Yeah, it's The Watcher on Netflix.
So I'm gonna watch it. It looks good.
We finished it over the weekend, I think.
Is it a good binge?
Yeah, it's a good binge. Like each episode's like 45 to 55 minutes long, but I probably could have sat down and watched all 8 episodes or 7 episodes.
Is it scary?
Yeah, well, it's based on a true story.
Should you read the true story first?
No, you don't need to.
Okay.
No. And really, like, since it's based on a true story, like, I'm not really gonna give you guys any spoilers by telling you about it. I'm not gonna tell you about it anyways.
That's why I didn't want to look it up too much, because I knew if I looked up the story, I'd have probably just spoil the show for myself.
Yeah, it's really good. Like I said, we were watching, 3-4 episodes at a time. When we could. It's based on a true story out of New Jersey. Basically, this greedy family from New York City takes out all of their money out of their IRA, 401k, so they can afford this $3 million house in Westfield, New Jersey. And it's not that the house is haunted, but there's some creepy shit that's gone on there in the past 100 years. And the house has a watcher. And so the watcher essentially scares the family out of the house by doing all of these weird things. So it's a true story. They never actually found who the watcher was in real life. So that's the show kind of ends in a weird way because you never find out who was actually doing this, who was writing all these letters to these people, who's tormenting this family. But it's a really good show. It's really binge-worthy. It has some big names in it. And like I said, it's probably one of the best shows I've watched this year. So
interesting. All right.
I watched it on a whim too. Yeah,
it's Halloween time, so I want to give it a look. What else you got for us?
All right, so I got an LD from the T. And this was actually gonna be my stand up, but the more I thought about it, the more it kind of brings me back to why it's an LD from the T. So it's maybe a little TMI, but I have no shame. So let's keep it moving. So my LD from the T is that there needs to be more and better bathrooms on the golf course.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And let me tell you
yes.
why. Let me tell you why. All right.
Uh-oh.
So this happened about 4 or 5 years ago, and it's actually a fall golf story too. We were out on the course in Connecticut at a place called Twin Hills, and I had grown up playing there, so I knew the course pretty well. But it had recently been bought by new owners, so small changes, but not a lot. So we teed off. My tummy's feeling fine. Everything's shaping up to be a great day out on the course. Loving it. Fall golf, can't beat it. Around hole 5 and 6, my tummy starts acting up. Do I know why? But no. Does poop ever come at a good time? It's never convenient. So no. So in my head, I'm thinking, all right, I'll make it till 9. I'll run in. I'll rip a quick bathroom break, and then we'll head to the 10th tee. So as we step on the 7th tee, my stomach says otherwise. I'm thinking in my head that I hazily remember there being a porta potty between holes in 8 and 17. There's kind of a 4-way convergence of 4 holes, and they had a storm shelter there and a porta potty. So I'm like, fuck this. So I hit my ball, dropped my clubs, and I ran into the woods in that direction to try and find this porta potty because I have no other options at this point. Upon getting to where I suspected the porta potty to be, there was no porta potty. The new management had removed it. So now I'm deep, a hole away from a hole, maybe 2 holes away from 7, and desperation ensues. So, you know that feeling when you have to go to the bathroom so bad, and as you approach the bathroom, as you get closer to the bathroom, you just have to go to the bathroom even more.
Yes.
So now I have no fucking choice. So with no other option, I found the storm shelter. That was obviously still there. I squatted against it, and I let loose. I had to poop. I pooped in the woods on the golf course. My dad loves to tell this story to people.
Wait a minute, couldn't you go inside the storm shelter?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to poop inside the storm shelter. What if someone has to go? What if there's a storm? What if someone has to go in there?
There's no bathrooms in there?
No. It's just like a covering. Like if there's like thunder and lightning.
Oh my God.
I was expecting like a nuclear shelter.
That was fucking hilarious.
So I squat against the storm shelter. I poop, and since it's fall, there's no leaves on the trees because nature's bounty is like wipe your butt with a leaf or something.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's not poisonous. So, with it being fall, I was forced to remove my boxers and finish the job with the boxers that I was wearing out on the golf course. And so the deed was done. I ran back to my group, and I played the rest of the round commando. And I think I still shot an 80.
Right.
Excuse me. So this brings me right back into why, because this happened again. This happened at Fox Run too. I almost pooped my pants on the back nine.
Yes, you did.
Because I had to go so bad. But this is
Why
exactly
did
why.
you just take the fucking cart back to the house, the clubhouse?
I have too much pride. Like I just feel like I just independence took over, and I'm like, I need to solve this.
You also committed to the porta potty being there.
I also anticipated a porta potty being there.
And when it wasn't, it's over.
It's over because your body is now conditioned to think that you are about to drop
I do know what
this
you're talking about.
load. And unfortunately, I was still able to do that, just not under the circumstances that I originally had hoped for. So
I got to be honest with you, that's the funniest story you've ever told.
oh, I appreciate that.
That was fucking hilarious.
So let's bring bathrooms to the golf course in 2020.
More bathrooms and nicer bathrooms too, not just.
I mean, I'll be
porta
honest
potties.
with you, that's something out of everything we filmed, that might be the thing that could go fucking viral on TikTok and Instagram. And it's like probably the last thing in the world that wants to go viral on TikTok.
I mean, it's far enough in my past where like just like the goose or the concert story, I'm like okay sharing it, but like my dad tells a story to so many people. I'm like, Dad, I don't really like that. I'm like, you're telling people I wet my butt with my boxers and I played the rest of the round with no pants on.
To be fair, it's actually kind of a gentleman's way of doing it. I mean, you could have been far more. It could have been a lot worse. Like you could have just not wiped it all and then been a fucking rogue assassin out there on the course.
That would have got bad. That would have got messy.
Yeah, it would have got messy.
So, moral of the story is the problem was solved, but the real problem still has yet to be solved, which is more course bathrooms.
Yeah,
I mean, it is kind of bullshit. Like, I don't understand why you can't put up, if there's 18 holes, like a bathroom every hole or like a porta potty every 3 holes or something.
Well, it's like you're out there for 5 hours. So, like, that's a lot of time to, like, not... I mean, like, granted, we're guys and, like, nature's, bathroom is all around us if we have to go number 1. But, like, when it comes down to number 2, like... Unless you're in like a close vicinity to the clubhouse, like what are you gonna do? What if there's no
you're
porta
absolutely
potties?
right. It's when you stop to think about it, it's actually a very broken thing.
Yeah. What about girl golfers?
Yeah, that's a great point.
That's a great point. Yeah,
a classic, dude. Yeah, evolution of the game. I think bathrooms are gonna need to be more necessary in the future. I mean, the other thing too is like I've always thought about, can I get in trouble for doing either what you did or like pissing out on the golf course?
I've always wondered that. Is that technically indecent exposure?
That's right. It's like
know.
You start to wonder, like if there was I don't know, it's if there's a ranger that comes by and he sees you pissing in the woods, like is that something that he's gonna grab? I mean, probably not. I feel like in most cases, but
maybe shitting against a storm shelter, maybe but
that's
I
I don't know about that though. Like. It's an
emergency.
Look, what are they going to do? The cop's going to detain you for shitting somewhere in the woods, and you go, I had a fucking emergency. What are they?
Yeah, what if like I had IBS or something? Like
what
if I legitimately couldn't control it?
Right.
I think you can actually get a little card when you have IBS, so that like you have an excuse. But not that it's an excuse.
even outside of that, you could say, a man's got to do what a man's got to do. Like I had to go. I went into the fucking woods. I don't know that's not even indecent exposure. I feel like you have to expose yourself to someone to do that intentionally.
Yeah.
I don't know. When you think about like how much indecent exposure's out there, like
no one's gonna be looking at you anyways.
No.
Like no one wants to watch that.
No. I mean, when you think about New York City and how I forget New York, LA, I saw 3 people taking dumps on the sidewalk, like, and they didn't get brought in. So I figure. You in the middle of the woods in a suburban town is probably not that.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And I honestly
no harm, no foul.
Yeah, like, yeah, it's okay. Like,
I think next week, by the way, we need to bring back, we got to bring back the stand-up section.
Yeah, we do.
I'm ready because now I feel like I'm excited about it again, and we need to do it again.
All right, we'll bring it back next week, but that's going to wrap it up for this week on T-Box Talk. Thank you for listening to episode 27. Will, thank you for sharing a personal story like that and your trip to Mexico with the family. It was awesome. Josh, thank you for your contributions as well. Everybody have a wonderful weekend. Follow us on Instagram at TBoxTalkPod and at OMADA Golf. Check out full videocasts on YouTube for some extra content with some clips in there and stuff. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Like, rate, subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family. Peace out.
See ya.